quick tunnel job and up the stairs. As pretty as you please. That's worth over £10,000.
We're gonna be rich.
Not this time, gentlemen.
Sherlock Holmes.
Watson?
Right you are, Holmes.
Run, Archie! Run! Wait for it!
Don't let those ruffians escape.
I am Inspector Lestrade. You are under...
There's no escape, my friend.
This will be a pleasure.
Well done, Watson.
You all right, Holmes?
Quite. Which is more than I can say for John Clay, one of London's least notorious thieves. Inspector, I have your man.
Come on, Sonny.
Well, Mr. Holmes, I don't know how, but you've done it again.
Thank you, Inspector. That's high praise indeed, coming from such a workmanlike detective as yourself. And now, if you have nothing further to add, I hereby declare this case closed.
Good, we've got kippers for breakfast.
Just a minute.
Moving, cool.
You idiot!
What?
Confound you!
What did I say? Watson, what did I say wrong? I did everything you said, exactly as you said it. What did I do? You're not going to tell me, are you?
All right. You want to know what's wrong?
Well, I said I did, didn't I?
I'll tell you what's wrong. Don't declare a case is closed
Just a minute, Watson. My public awaits.
until I say it's closed.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Sir Edinburgh.
Sir.
Certainly.
Sir, how did you know somebody was tunneling into the cellar of the Royal Gallery?
That was very interesting, actually. There was fresh dirt in the building next door. Fresh dirt.
Would you like to elaborate on that, sir?
It was an elementary deduction based on the clues at hand.
But didn't Scotland Yard see the very same clues?
I see and observe.
Is
Isn't that rather redundant?
Describe the front of this building. Without looking, describe the front of this house.
Well, it's brick.
Yes,
It's got black railings, I think.
that's right.
And windows.
How many windows?
How many? I don't know.
Quite so. He sees, but he does not observe. Whereas I see and observe, and thus bring many notorious blackguards to justice. Did I put that reporter in his place?
Just for the record, how many windows are there in the front of this building?
I haven't the foggiest idea.
There are 15 windows, you fool! 15!
Yes.
Not only that. Not only that. But the reporter you just embarrassed, he knows how to type. He's somewhat nearsighted and recently returned from a holiday. And how do you know that, Watson? Elementary. From the creases on his wrist, where a typist presses against the table.
Watson, do you think this is a good likeness of me? Wonderful story, by the way, but on page 2, you have me admitting a mistake.
A writer must write of which he knows.
Oh, do you think that's really necessary? I mean, tarnishing the image and all that? Hello? What have we here? Something's afoot. Oh.
How many times have I told you to stay away from my experiments?
Something wrong?
I seem to spend an increasing amount of my precious time correcting your blunders, both private and public.
Oh, I see. It's the Clay case. You still innocent it's over that? Well, if you want my opinion.
I beg your pardon? Opinion, did you say?
Oh, my God. Not that speech again.
May I remind you, for your information, sir, that your opinions are my opinions.
Oh, piffle.
I created the character of Sherlock Holmes and hired you merely to play the part, snatching you, as it were, from the gutter.
Hardly the gutter, old boy. After all, I was once an actor of note.
Whose last play, I believe, ran a total of 1/2 of one performance.
I'll have you know, Shadow of Death, with Reginald Kincaid, was a towering work, decades ahead of its time.
Lesson number 2, advanced bowing.
My only regret was that it ended before the climactic third-act duel. Too bad you didn't have a chance to see it.
I've no use for theatrical swordplay. All I ask is that you obey a few simple rules, not the least of which is the case is not closed until I say it's closed.
Really, Watson, I think you underestimate my own native deductive abilities. Listen, you hear those footsteps? I'd say this was a woman about 5'5", weighed about 12.5 stone, age 54. Voila.
Blown yourself up again?
Watson, it's for you, your Baker Street irregulars.
Hello, boys.
Wiggins, give it back.
Just trying to earn a living. We heard you was looking for us, Doctor.
Here, son.
Yes, boys. There's been some trouble concerning the break-in at the Royal Gallery.
What? We heard that, Mr. Holmes declared the case closed.
All right. That will prove, after some creative writing, to be merely a ruse on Mr. Holmes's part. No, something's not right. John Clay does not deal in works of art. I need you boys to have a look around. Eyes sharp, ears quick. Copper apiece for your trouble, and a shilling for what you learn.
We'll do our best, won't we, lads? Yeah.
Don't let us keep you, boys. Come on, out, out, out.
Don't worry about a thing, Doctor. We know how much you could use some real assistance.
There you are. You're making a laughing stock of me. How can I be... How can I be expected to maintain a character when you belittle me in front of those hooligans?
Character? Are we talking of the same man who once declared with total conviction that the late Colonel Howard had been bludgeoned to death by blunt excrement?
Is it my fault if you have such poor handwriting? Anyway, it was just a little mistake.
He's been at it again.
I never liked that woman.
Come in, Mrs. Hudson.
I found it under a loose board in the stairwell.
Thank you, Mrs. Hudson.
An occasional libation enables me to stiffen my resolve.
Your resolve should be pickled by now.
I don't believe that either of you realize what pressure I'm under. You know what it's like to commit to memory a never-ending list of clues and deductions to be parroted back till Lestrade and reporters, bloodstains on the toothpick, cigar ash, new soil in the garden next door. Endless twaddle. Twaddle?
Are you referring to the systematic gathering of evidence and the logical deductions based thereon?
I am referring to twaddle. And you would be well served, Watson, to include fewer of these dreary details in future chronicles and place greater emphasis on me. I am, after all, the one the public really cares about.
Would you be so kind as to excuse us for a moment?
Careful, Watson. Careful. Remember your blood pressure.
And good riddles to bad rubbish, I must say.
Am I to understand that you are giving me notice?
Let's just say that the curtain has come down on yet another miserable performance.
Right. Watson, I was once a figment of your imagination. But now, Sherlock Holmes belongs to the whole world.
Well, at last we're free of that ungrateful baggage, eh, Mrs. Hudson? From now on, things are going to be much more pleasant around here.
An actor! Nothing the matter. Nothing at all. Back to work. Hold my calls. We'll start at the beginning. Shall we?
It was about 9 years ago. One of my patients was a Scotland Yard inspector investigating the Paxton murder case. I gave him the name of the murderer, but gave credit to a non-existent detective. At the time, I was hoping for an appointment to the staff of a rather conservative medical college. I knew that they'd frown on my little,
Hobby.
Exactly. Well, I didn't get the appointment. Instead, what I got was a quite unanticipated public demand to meet this Sherlock Holmes.
So you hired this Reginald Kincaid.
He was an actor. Unfortunately, he was also a gambler, a womanizer, and a drunkard.
John, you have jeopardized the integrity of English literature. Still, I should have known. He was always borrowing large sums of money off me and never paying me back.
The cad.
But don't worry, we deducted it from your royalties. Now tell me, who else knows of this?
No one. Except Mrs. Hudson and the irregulars. But it's time now for the public to learn the truth.
The truth?
Certainly. No one will want to read of that twit again. His popularity will plummet. They'll be desperate for my new creation.
What new creation?
John Watson, the crime doctor. I can have it ready for your very next issue.
Sit down, John. John, people buy the Strand magazine expecting to read a story in which Sherlock Holmes solves the case, not the crime surgeon.
Crime doctor.
Crime doctor, crime surgeon, crime dentist, who cares, really? Let's face it, John, Sherlock Holmes is worth a fortune to the magazine. You're stuck with them, I'm afraid.
Norman, I'll write what I want. There's nothing you can do.
The devil there isn't.
Dr. Watson!
Yeah, come here. Well, you can't go in there.
What is this?
Sorry, Doctor, but we found something. Down by the docks.
Excellent.
Hello, ducks.
If you'll excuse us, we have work to do.
Do you work here?
Begins.
Watson, I'm warning you. It's Sherlock Holmes who will sue you for everything you're worth. And I mean everything. Damn, anyone see my watch?
There it is, Doctor.
Camden Paper Mill.
Round about 4 this morning.
Same time as the Clay robbery.
On the button.
Good, lad. Now we're getting somewhere. Come on. Let's take a look around.
Went up like a torch, they say.
Well, full of wood pulp and paper, you see.
I'm sorry, sir. No one's allowed in this area.
Quite all right, I assure you. I'm Dr. John Watson.
Nobody's sick here, sir?
You don't understand. John Watson.
The crime doctor.
That's right. John Watson, the crime doctor.
Crime doctor? Never heard of him. Though, your name sounds a bit familiar.
All right. I'm Dr. John Watson, author of the Sherlock Holmes mysteries.
Sherlock Holmes?
Yes.
The Sherlock Holmes?
Yes.
Me and the wife has read every one of his stories.
All right. Now, if you'll excuse me.
I'm sorry, Doctor. I still can't let you in. Strict orders about that, I'm afraid. But, Mr. Holmes, did he, send you here?
He certainly did not.
Well, perhaps the next time you should check with him first, eh? Save yourself a trip.
You try and fight crime in this city, and all you hear about is Sherlock Holmes. What's he like? When will you see him next? Never! That's when! Never!
Doctor, dear, keep your voice down.
Why should I?
Because you have visitors. Inspector Lestrade and a Lord Smithick.
Of the Treasury?
Gentlemen, won't you come up?
Oh, yes, thank you very much. So Mr. Holmes is in, is he?
Dr. Watson. No! Although he is quite busy with his scholarly pursuits.
Pursuits, yeah. Yes.
Gentlemen?
Good afternoon, Inspector.
Doctor, this is Lord Smithick, Her Majesty's Chancellor of the Exchequer.
My pleasure, sir.
His Lordship wishes to see Mr. Holmes.
I'm sorry to say he's not here at the moment.
Oh, how disappointing. Sir, as I said before, I really don't think Mr. Holmes' involvement in this case is at all necessary.
I quite agree.
You do?
However, the crime doctor is at your disposal.
Who the deuce is the crime doctor?
What?
Most amusing. But this is a matter of the gravest urgency. When do you expect Mr. Holmes?
Not for a while. He's out of town.
Good afternoon.
Well,
Too bad.
I'm sure we'll be able to get along quite well without Mr. Holmes.
Wait! Today's Friday, isn't it? Yes, of course it is. Silly me. Holmes is supposed to be back tonight.
How fortunate.
Very well. We shall return at 7 tonight. Come along, Inspector.
Till then, gentlemen.
Afraid we made this trip for nothing.
Now, Your Lordship, I must ask you once again to...
Where did you get that hat? Where did you get that tile? Isn't it a knobby one? It's just a proper style. I would like to have one just the same as that. Wherever I go, they shout, hello, where did you get that hat? Where did you get that hat? Where did you get that tile?
Good evening. Have you seen Peter Brady anywhere? He's disappeared.
Hello, Connie, love.
Good evening. Ow! All right. Who did it? Come on. Have you pinched me?
Pinched, you say?
That's right.
May I be of some assistance? The name is Holmes. Sherlock Holmes.
Constance Payton, sir. Pleased to meet you.
Charm. Now, let's see. By careful observation of the patrons of these premises, I have been able to deduce the identity of the fiend who pinched you. Me! Did it again.
Thank you, my good man.
Thank you, sir. Yep.
I'll make this brief. I'll make this brief. I'll make this brief.
I need to see some money, Mr. Holmes. It's been 5 days now.
Now, see here, my good man.
Go ahead, sir. It's on me.
Thank you, sir. Watson.
Hello, how are things?
Couldn't be better. Good health.
I'll make this brief. I'll make this brief. I want you to come back.
Like I predicted, you need me.
I do not need you.
What are you here for? I didn't call for you.
All right, I need you for this one blasted time.
One time, that's all. You're going to have to do better than that.
Don't push me. You've already run out of money. This is because you lack the necessary skills to gain decent employment.
Aha. Wrong, Watson. You see, I have been honing my ability of elementary deduction to a razor's edge. Observe. Excuse me, sir. How are things on the subcontinent?
I beg your pardon.
You are a reporter just back from India, are you not?
I'm a barrister, and I've never been to India in my life.
But you do read the Times.
Of course.
There you have it. My card.
I'll ask you just once more. Are you coming with me or not?
I would rather waltz naked through the fires of hell.
I can see coming here was a mistake.
Excellent deduction, Watson. Keep up the good work. Ah, gentlemen. And what can I do for you? A mystery to be solved?
You might say that. There's a little matter of a gambling debt. And the mystery is why you ain't paid it.
Gentlemen, you are dealing with Sherlock Holmes, a man of honor and character beyond reproach.
There he is. That's the bloke who pinched me bum.
Pardon me. Excuse me, love.
Didn't I say 7 o'clock?
Forgive me for being late. Gentlemen.
Is Mr. Holmes with you?
Well, actually, Lord Smithick, a short time ago, I received a wire from Holmes instructing me to take down the details and begin the investigation without him, as it were.
What?
Believe it or not, I'm every bit Holmes's equal as a detective.
Dr. Watson.
I happen to know that you recently recovered from an illness, that you smoke a pipe, probably rosewood, and you spent time in China.
Sorry, Doctor. This is no time for parlor games.
Yeah, I'm not playing parlor games.
This is a matter for professionals.
You gotta help me. There's two big men.
Holmes, you're back. So good to see you. My, this is a clever disguise. A drunken lout. Very realistic.
There's two. This woman said I pinched her. She said I pinched her.
Pinched her. Gentlemen, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Ah, Lestrade. It's good to see the department's letting you out at night again. Lord Smithick. Trouble at the Exchequer.
Well, to be honest... Wait. How did you know?
The same way that I can tell you've recently recovered from an illness, smoked a pipe, probably rosewood, and have spent some time in China.
Amazing!
Thank you. Lord Smithick, before we start, perhaps A little sherry?
I wish we could. But the matter which brings me here involves the fate of the entire empire.
I see. Perhaps a whiskey, then. Perhaps later. So why don't you tell me the details and omit nothing? Watson, pay close attention.
Do you know what these are?
I do. So do I.
The plate for the Bank of England's £5 note.
Undoubtedly.
Or very good imitations.
Precisely.
Exactly.
Indeed. Well, now, that's cleared that up. How about that whiskey?
May I? Oh, I suppose so. Inspector.
Just 2 nights ago, these clever forgeries were exchanged for the genuine plates. Now, if the real plates are in the hands of some foreign power...
Or someone even more treacherous, the kingdom could find itself awash in counterfeit notes.
And I don't have to tell you what that would mean.
Yes, you do.
It would mean, quite simply, economic ruin for England. Nobody would know which £5 notes were real and which weren't.
Oh. Gentlemen, I accept this case. My fee will be £500, payable in £10 notes.
Good evening.
Yes. Good night.
We can all rest a little easier now, Inspector.
Yes.
Drive on, my good man.
I don't suppose it would make any difference if I said I have grave doubts about Mr. Holmes.
I must confess, I feel a bit prouder knowing Sherlock Holmes is British.
You suppose he took the case, Professor? Watson? My dear boy, how could you resist? This is working out so very well. Driver.
Gentlemen, I am here.
Mr. Holmes at last. Welcome to Her Majesty's Royal Mint. This is one of my long-time employees, Mr.
Hadlers, sir.
Oh, Hadlers, yes. Inspector Lestrade was inquiring about the vaults.
It's my guess that it's an inside job by someone with a key. You have that key, don't you, Hadlers?
No.
Inspector, please. Mr. Holmes will take over now.
It's quite all right, Lord Smithick. As a matter of fact, Lestrade, you can be of some help.
Of course.
Hold my coat. It's hot in here. So this is where the printing plates are kept.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Very interesting. No harm done. Tell me, how many people have access to this vault?
3 persons only. Myself, the Commissioner for Seals and Engravings, and the printing supervisor, Peter Giles.
I should like to speak to this third person.
He didn't turn up for work this morning, Your Lordship.
Aha.
We've already done some checking on this Giles, Your Lordship. He is a widower with 1 child named Leslie.
I've seen her once or twice myself, sir. Oh, a very pretty girl. In an unusual sort of way.
Pretty?
Oh, yes, sir. Quite.
Watson, make a note of that.
Though Mr. Giles himself seemed slightly uncomfortable when I complimented him on her appearance.
No! Surely you can't believe that Peter Giles was involved. Why, the man's worked here for over 30 years, and he was very religious too. Wouldn't you say so?
Hadlers, sir. Oh, yes, sir. He was always quoting from the Psalms.
Ah, the Psalms. One of my favorite books. The Bible, wasn't it?
I suppose you'll want to speak to this Peter Giles, Holmes?
Well, actually, I've never been one for religious talk myself. On the other hand, no leads must be overlooked. And you can rest assured, Your Lordship, we shall be investigating the daughter as well.
I must be going.
Come here! Lenny, what are you doing over there? Come on. Amazing fellow, really. All right, now go! Go!
Open this door! Giles, open the door. It's Sherlock Holmes. Stand back, Watson. I'll break it down.
Whoa! Oh. Half a tick, Mr. Holmes. You can't go walking into someone's residence, poking about their personal possessions, disturbing their privacy. That's for Scotland Yard. Hello? Anybody home? Charles! Nobody home?
Inspector, you're treading on the man.
Sorry, I kept those.
Ah, nice, tidy little place. Oh, a French postcard.
Really? I knew a chap who collected these once. He had this wonderful one of two women, and that... Oh, it's just a picture of the Eiffel Tower.
Quite a bit of correspondence there, Doctor.
Yes, I'd say Giles hadn't been home for several days.
Oh. Anything of interest in that card, Mr. Holmes?
It says, having a gay time here, but need a holiday. We'll see you on Monday. L. Now, I wonder who that can be. L, is that an old friend, a secret lover?
It's my guess it's his daughter, Leslie.
I'll wager you're right, Inspector.
That's right. Let him deduce everything.
Be a good chap. When Lestrade returns, go about your sleuthing routine.
The full treatment?
Whatever it takes to keep him occupied while I look around.
Well, it would appear as if Mr. Giles has taken himself a holiday.
I expected no less. If you'll allow me. Very interesting up here, Watson.
Excuse me.
Yes. My word. Don't touch that. There may be fingerprints. The Book of Psalms. Ah, as I anticipated. The Bible. All starting to fit together rather neatly, I'd say. Ah! Stay with me, Lestrade. Investigating crime calls for the searching out of patterns. Now take the patterns in this carpet. Rosettes and what appears to be cherubs, isn't it? Is that a cherub? Yes, a cherub.
Dr. Watson, have you there?
Oh, this. I just found this in the fireplace.
Careful. Might be evidence.
Really?
P-R-M-E-R-E. You make of it.
You blind, Lestrade? Tell him, Watson.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Holmes, but this piece of paper is part of a map. A location.
Amory.
Amory?
Cashmere. Cashmere.
Windermere! Brilliant, Inspector!
The Lake District is a perfect place to hide. Nobody goes there this time of year. We'll just wire up to Windermere and see if Charles has made his appearance yet. And don't you worry, Mr. Holmes. We'll have this case wrapped up in no time.
Unique, actually. Very creative, Watson. Something that would never have occurred to the likes of me. Imagine a Sherlock Holmes adventure in which Lestrade solves the blooming case.
Calm yourself. There's a healthy chunk of mystery yet to be solved. It's to Windermere for us. Well, I assure you, the game is still afoot. As was his habit, Sherlock Holmes sat in the railway carriage, lost in thought.
He must be a millionaire. You can hear him sigh, wishing to die.
Are you Sherlock Holmes?
I am indeed, madam. Would you like my autograph?
You put me old man in jail, you did!
From these moments of quiet, intense reflection would inevitably spring some new insight.
Stop it, you silly coward!
Sorry about that, Watson. What are you doing?
Thinking.
Right. I'm going to think too. What should we think about, Watson?
Allow me to introduce myself. I am the Right Honourable Gerald Fitzwalter Johnson, Lord Mayor. And this is my daughter, Christabel.
Hello, Mr. Holmes.
We're enthusiastic readers of your articles in The Strand. My daughter in particular reads each one several times.
Don't even think about it.
I believe we have something for you, sir. A man matching this Mr. Giles's description arrived 2 nights ago. Ah! This is Andrews, a dock worker here on the lake. He remembers the man quite well. Andrews, this is Mr. Holmes. Come to our fair community to investigate a matter of great importance. You may begin, Mr. Holmes.
What makes you remember this man so clearly, Mr. Andrews?
I remember this man. I remember this man so clearly because he was carrying a brown leather suitcase. The suitcase was fastened to his wrist with a pair of silver handcuffs. It was very heavy, and he commented on the weight several times. He asked Donald Ayers,
a local boatman,
a local boatman, to transport him across the lake to a cottage he had rented.
Watson, make a note of that.
I'm sure Holmes would like to speak to this boatman. Donald Ayers?
Yes, indeed.
Yes, well, the thing of it is, no one has seen the fellow or the man with the suitcase since that night.
You mean they've gone missing?
Yes. Well, my theory, if you'll permit me, Mr. Holmes, is this. The storm may have done both of them in.
They went out in a storm?
Watson, please. They went out in a storm?
Yes. The lake can get very rough at this time of the year. Ah, here we are. Our finest hotel, the Shakespeare Arm.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, we're all so proud to have you here. The Duke's absolutely beside himself.
The Duke?
The DOG.
The Duke, yes.
Sherlock Holmes and Dr.
John Watson.
John Watson. Now, if you'll just follow me, I'll have your luggage taken upstairs.
Sit, boy, sit.
Now then, Dukey, you stay down here while I take the gentleman upstairs. He's taken quite a fancy to you, Mr. Holmes. He doesn't like everybody, you know. When he gets a bit...
Bitch.
What he likes is the summer. All them ramblers. The kingly room, Mr. Holmes. The finest we've got. Yours is on upstairs, Doctor. Be careful of the carpet. The mice have been at it. We call this the Hamlet room. And it does have a lovely view of the lake. Now, if you'll excuse me, Dr.
Watson.
Watson, I'll just go and see if Mr. Holmes is all right.
Watson, would you mind swapping rooms with me? I once played King Lear, and quite frankly, that room would revive memories of rotten fruit.
One room's the same as another to me.
What a dreary place this is.
Excuse me, but you are Sherlock Holmes, aren't you?
Well, that depends. Do you have a relative who was recently sent to prison?
Me? Why, no.
Well, yes, then. I am Sherlock Holmes.
Well, we would all consider it an honor if you'd have a drink with us.
A drink? I was just saying to my good friend, Dr. Watson here, what a lovely village this is. I'll have a double whiskey, please. Just to ward off the chill of the evening.
A double whiskey for Mr. Holmes. A toast. Greatest detective in all the world.
Thank you, gentlemen. I am touched.
I can vouch for that.
You, sir, remind me of someone I once encountered during the curious affair of the Manchurian Mambo.
Holmes, could I have a word?
Yes?
I believe that was the Manchurian Mamba, Holmes.
Mambo, what's the difference?
Oh, very little, other than one is a deadly poisonous snake and the other is a rather festive Caribbean dance.
It was a night just like any other, when someone knocked at the door. I opened it, and there were these Manchurians, doing this rather festive Caribbean dance.
Manchurian Mambo. Steady, Watson. Just get through it one more time. Then you're rid of the fellow. What a pleasant thought. I feel much better. Quite euphoric.
And as the snake struck at me, I danced out of the way. And if it hadn't been for my flawless footwork, I'd be standing here, a dead man today.
What about another drink, Mr. Holmes?
Gentlemen, I have to be up early tomorrow, and I need all my wits about me. Perhaps just one more.
Yeah.
Holmes, sweet Holmes.
You're not down to the festival, you know.
fresh air.
That's what I need. That's better.
Watson! Help! Help me! Quickly! Watson, wake up!
Hang on, I'm coming!
Please, come with me!
Hang on, here I am.
Quickly!
Give me your hand.
Are you there?
Yes, thank you. Give your hand. Well done.
Pull quickly!
I'm pulling on, boy.
Pull harder!
Well, I am pulling hard.
Pull!
Come on,
Pull!
steady.
Pull, Watson!
Steady on, old boy.
Don't let go!
Well done. Ow, ow. Jolly good. Fascinating. This railing, it appears to have been cut by someone.
Get him up!
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Morning.
This is the cottage Giles leased from a company in London. Allow me to show you the way.
Mr. Mayor, don't move. Not until Mr. Holmes has had a chance to inspect the area for clues. By God, I've trained you well, Watson.
Now, follow me closely. What am I looking for?
Footprints.
Right. Have I found any yet?
No, not yet.
Right. Let me know when I do. Hello? Anyone at home? Hello?
Well, if Giles was headed here, it's obvious he never arrived.
Mr. Holmes, they found Donald Ayres.
Who?
Stand back, lads. Stand back. Leave it to me. I've got all taken care of.
Constable, please. Not until Mr. Holmes has had a chance to investigate the body for clues.
Yes? It is my opinion that he is dead.
He's a genius.
Thank you, sir. Here you are. 2 first-class tickets to London.
Well, Mr. Holmes, any theories?
Indeed. Obviously, Giles and Ayres were caught in a storm too far from the shore to swim for it.
Yes, and with that heavy suitcase attached to his wrist, and the lake being so deep.
Quite. Pulled the poor wretch to the bottom. Struggling futilely. Flailing desperately. As the cold, black water sealed his fate forever. Well, it's certainly been a laugh. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
We must be off. Pleasure meeting you, Mr. Mayor.
The same, Doctor.
Now. know for a fact that Charles was on the boat?
No, we don't.
Oh. Well, we do know for a fact that Charles arrived in Windermere.
No, he didn't.
He didn't? I thought he did. Ah. Well, we really know that Giles was behind the theft of the printing plates.
No, he wasn't.
Fine. Just trying to get things straight. Tell me something, Watson. Is there anything we do know for a fact?
Yes.
What?
That without doubt, there's an evil mastermind behind all of this.
Professor Moriarty! Oh, for God's sake. You didn't tell me that homicidal maniac was involved in this?
Because I knew you'd behave this way.
Bravo! Another triumph for deductive reasoning.
Don't you think you're overreacting?
Oh, pardon me. Wasn't I the one who we tried to kill last night?
Merely a technicality.
Oh, maybe for you, mate.
Think, man. Who was supposed to sleep in that room?
That's true. You were.
Moriarty knows. I'm the only match for his evil genius.
Are you sure he's not trying to kill me?
Of course not. He knows you're an idiot.
Thank God.
Stand. You are, miss. Hurry up.
Thank you.
Oh, so very much, miss. Walk on.
Miss Leslie Giles.
Yes?
Dr. John Watson at your service. And this is Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes? But what do you want with me?
The government suspects that your father has stolen the printing plates for the £5 note.
What?
They also believe that he is at the bottom of Lake Windermere, drowned like a rat.
Oh. Father.
Watson, get some water, please.
Of course.
Father.
Sorry for the fright, Miss Giles. Unfortunately, you fainted before Holmes could add that he personally believes your father not only innocent, but alive.
Really?
Holmes believes your father has been abducted.
Abducted? By whom?
Abductors. You see, Miss Giles, your father was described to us as fanatically neat. A fact confirmed by the immaculateness of this very place. I took the opportunity to have a look around, and it is extremely tidy. One must ask, therefore, why such a compulsively neat man would leave an unmade bed unless he was snatched from that very bed.
Oh, dear God.
Then a man posing as your father was sent to Windermere, where a mock drowning was staged, unfortunately costing the life of an innocent boatman named Ayres, forcibly drowned.
Murdered.
Why? Why, you ask? Because. Fill in the details, Watson.
Because someone wanted us to believe that your father and the printing plates were lost at the bottom of the lake.
Thus, Scotland Yard and that poor misguided fool Lestrade would foolishly believe that the case was closed, leaving the true villain free to wreak havoc with the economy of the empire. All quite elementary.
Let me go!
Have courage, mister.
You don't know who you're dealing with, my friend. My name is Sherlock Holmes.
Sorry about this, Miss Giles. Sorry about this, Miss Giles.
Hurry, Holmes. Come on, bleeding shoot.
They're gone.
I know. I chased them away.
Oh, you brave, brave man.
Danger is my trade, but not yours. It's unsafe for you to sleep alone tonight, unattended.
Yes, we insist you stay with us.
Oh, but surely I'd be in imposition.
Think nothing of it, my dear.
Indeed. Holmes will be working all night anyway, so you can have his room. Interesting. Of Italian manufacture.
What?
This shoe, brand new.
Oh, yes. Very interesting. Do you think she's ready for bed yet?
And if I'm not mistaken, caked with mud, mainly found in the vicinity of the Thames.
The Thames, yes, yes. Poor girl. Poor, beautiful girl. Some sleep would do her good. I can picture her lying there, her eyes closed, gently breathing. Her breasts heaving as her supple, nubile young body caresses the cool, limpid sheets.
Yes, Thames it is. Yes, Southwark. Interesting, isn't it?
To say the least.
Now, why would common ruffians be wearing imported shoes? Not second-hand, mind you, but brand new.
Ooh!
What was that?
What?
Oh, there's not one thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I suppose I must be still rather nervous.
You may rest easy, miss. No one will disturb you tonight. Isn't that so, Holmes?
Quite.
Good night.
Good night.
Mr. Holmes. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were still asleep.
Sleep? Who can sleep when there's work to be done?
Dr. Watson seems to have gone out.
Really?
I wonder where.
Who knows? He has very little patience with detective work. Often becomes quite bored.
Yes? Yes. Your job must be very difficult.
One does get rather tense.
Oh, I can imagine.
The hardest thing is to find ways to relieve that tension.
So you play the violin?
Only if worst comes to worst.
Well, I really don't want to add to that tension, so I think I better go and finish getting dressed.
Oh, no, please, I assure you. An occasional break is quite refreshing. My mind thrives on diversity.
Mr. Holmes!
What? What? How many times have I got to tell you to knock? Have you no respect for people's privacy?
Right. You've gone quite far enough, overstepping the bounds of propriety. Come along, my dear. You'll be much safer with me. We'll have tea downstairs.
Now, there's a good idea.
You have visitors. Such carryings on, and in the middle of the day. This is a respectable Presbyterian house, I assure you.
Take no notice, sir. The woman drinks a bit. Come in. Welcome. Good morning, Inspector.
Mr. Holmes, I've informed Lord Smithick of the findings in Windermere.
Though the case did not turn out as we hoped, Her Majesty did insist on rewarding you for your efforts.
A reward? Who am I to go against the wishes of the Queen?
Stunning, isn't it?
I'm overwhelmed.
Pity you had to go all the way to Windermere merely to confirm my theories.
Think nothing of it, old man. If I hadn't gone to Windermere, I could not have confirmed my theories. Namely, that your theories are completely wrong.
What's that?
This is utter nonsense, sir. He refuses to accept that I solved this case before he did.
Hello, gentlemen.
Giles is dead. The plate's lost. Case closed.
Neither Giles nor the plates were ever in Windermere. Case open.
Really?
What?
Well, gentlemen, I see Holmes has taken you into his confidence. Ha ha. Did he also tell you that we expect to conclude this case within 3 days?
No.
I'll let you fill in the details, Holmes.
Let me assure you, Lord Smithick, that come Friday, you shall have your plates.
You must succeed, Mr. Holmes, before news of the theft leaks out and causes widespread panic throughout the Empire.
Steady, sir. Steady. That is exactly why the Empire, now more than ever, needs all of us to remain calm and composed.
Oh, you're right, of course. We must remain composed. Composed.
And calm. Friday, you out of your bloody mind?
Steady on, old boy. You may not know it, but you've made some excellent discoveries this morning. Now, get your coat on. We have a cab waiting.
What discoveries?
One thing, the Royal Mint purchased its paper from the Camden paper mill.
You make these things up, don't you, Watson?
Mr. Holmes? Mr. Holmes? Those men, they were here about my father, weren't they? Oh, Dr. Watson, good morning.
Miss Giles.
Is there any news? Anything at all?
Sadly, no. But take heart, miss. Last night, something occurred to Holmes, and he suddenly realized how stupid he'd been.
Really?
Well, I didn't exactly say stupid.
Yes, you did. And now he's off to continue the investigation.
Oh, perhaps I could come too.
Ah, now.
Trust me, miss. The moment he knows anything, he'll tell you.
Thank you.
Cabby.
You. What?
What's that?
A reply to a telegram I sent late last night.
You might let me in on a joke, old boy.
In due time.
Doctor! Doctor! Dr. Watson!
Cabby!
Stop!
You're dead right, Doctor. All of them. Just sitting there, waiting for customs.
Wonderful. Just as I thought. Hop in, lad. Driver! Salad docks. Here will do, Cabby.
Yes, Governor.
The gates.
Here they are, Doctor. We found them here this morning.
Wonderful.
All these crates full of imported shoes.
And the ship?
Got them this morning from Germany. 2 days late she was.
Excellent. You've done well, my boy. We'll take it from here. Picture it. 2, 3, maybe 4 of Moriarty's henchmen, waiting here on the cover of darkness for that ship. But it's delayed. They wait. They become bored. Being men of no moral fiber whatsoever, they can't resist helping themselves to a new pair of shoes.
Do you think they have these in brown?
Hate Italian shoes.
Moriarty, without doubt.
This one. All right. Go on, bust it out.
What's Tinty?
German for ink. He smuggled it in to avoid the attention of Scotland Yard. Marvelous. He already has the paper he needs. Got it from the Camden paper mill. Burning the place to the ground to cover the theft. And the John Clay case was staged, simply to throw me off the scent.
What's the German for pen?
Oi! What's all this then?
Blast.
You can't be moving things about. Has to be cleared through customs and all that.
Sorry, Professor. Thought the dock was deserted.
Sorry indeed. I went to all this trouble for the sake of discretion. And then you allow this to happen. Well? No, no,
You have your revolver with you?
Yes, somewhere.
Come on. Let's not be all day about it.
Here it is. Now, I'm gonna let you have some bullets for it. Try not to shoot yourself. At least, not until I give the signal.
Hurry up.
Oh! What?
Come on!
Die, Moriarty.
Go on! They can't follow us down the canal. How demeaning to be set upon by nitwits. What
Watson! What are you doing? Watson! Oh! Watson, look out! Watson! 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 Watson!
Sherlock, Sergeant.
Anything?
No, sir. The tide may have carried the body miles downriver.
Mr. Holmes, is it true?
Yes. I'm afraid it's true.
Mrs. Hudson, I am so sorry.
He was such a good man. I can't believe he's gone.
I know it's difficult at such a time, but if it's any consolation, we still have Mr. Holmes.
Oh!
Did I say something wrong?
I seem to have overestimated the amount of rope required. One more thing I've botched.
Mr. Holmes, what would Dr. Watson say?
He would have volunteered to kick the chair out from under me.
He would not.
He said this was going to be our last case together.
Mr. Holmes! Mr. Holmes! You mustn't blame yourself. You can still avenge the doctor's death by capturing this Professor Moriarty and rescuing my father.
Oh, what a good idea. While I'm at it, I'll bring in the Loch Ness Monster.
Please, Mr. Holmes, I don't understand.
I am not a detective. I never solved anything. Dr. Watson did.
Oh, nonsense, you're just upset.
I couldn't detect horse manure if I stepped in it.
Please, Mr. Holmes.
Sorry.
Another one, Mr. Holmes?
Yes, please. Stop. Perhaps not. I'm afraid my grief has exceeded my resources.
It's on the house, Mr. Holmes.
Why, thank you, Henry.
Mr. Holmes? Thank goodness. Mrs. Hudson said we might find you here.
We want to offer you our condolences. Pity about Dr. Watson.
Yeah.
I trust, however, it will have no bearing on the outcome of the case.
What?
You vowed to solve the case by Friday.
Oh, well, you see, the fact of the matter is, you see, Lord Smithick, is Dr. Watson.
I believe what Mr. Holmes is trying to say is that it was Dr. Watson who first made that pledge. And, with all due respect, I'm sure he did not fully understand the complexities of the case. As I have tried to point out to your lordship, Her Majesty should rely on the counsel of trained criminologists such as myself. Though well-meaning, the good doctor was no detective.
As I was about to say, Lord Smithick, Dr. Watson was decidedly precise in his estimate of the closure of this case. Have no fear. You shall have the plates in your hands come Friday. Mrs. Hanson?
What?
The game's afoot.
Oh.
Dr. Watson always said, start by listing everything you know. So let us begin. Number 1. Moriarty.
Isn't he wonderful?
He is behind all this. That's one thing we know. Very good. Progressing nicely. Now, the next thing we know. Number 2.
This might take a while. I'll away and get some tea.
What?
All right. Let's go back to number 1. Perhaps the clue's in Moriarty's name. Clever people often do that. Amity, rarity. I've got it! His real name is Artie Morty. What the hell am I talking about?
I found a £5 note floating in the river.
Lucky you.
But it's only half printed.
I suppose it's only worth £2.10 then. Everyone knows that the normal £5 note carries a serial number which contains 5 digits.
6 digits.
6 digits. This one contains only 3. 2, 3, 4.
What's that mean?
Yeah. Her father's a printer, ain't he? Maybe he's trying to tell us where he is.
What can these numbers mean?
They could be a measurement, an address.
An amount, 234 or something.
A page number.
Ah, did your father have a favourite book?
He did. The Bible.
Yes.
I have a Bible. It's at my bedside.
Is there something on page 234?
Page numbers vary from Bible to Bible, but the chapter and verse is the same in every Bible. Did your father have a favourite book of the Bible?
Yes, he did. The Book of Psalms. Psalms 23rd Psalm, verse 4. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
Does that mean something?
Yes, that means the Orpheum Theatre.
What? What are you talking about?
I'm sorry, Mr. Holmes, but I just don't understand.
The Shadow of Death. The gripping drama was the last play presented at the Orpheum. It closed after only one night, but not without garnering some praise. Harris in the Daily Telegram said, in an otherwise dismal evening, Reginald Kincaid provided some welcome laughs.
Laughs? You said it was a gripping drama.
It's unimportant now, isn't it?
Are you sure you know what you're doing?
Cat!
Oh, dear.
The Fleet River runs under that part of town. The Orpheum Theatre stands right on top of it.
He could be onto something. There's tunnels and caverns running all under there.
Just a moment.
We haven't got a moment, Mrs. Hudson. Wiggins, fetch Scotland Yard.
Oh, let me, Mr. Holmes. I'm sure they'll be much more inclined to listen to me.
Good idea. Wiggins, on the back. The Orpheum Theatre. We haven't a moment to lose.
Right, you are, Gov. Come on. There you go. Come on.
liked you better when you was a coward.
The stage door's round the back. Go ahead.
You go ahead.
Wickets, go ahead.
Ah!
There you go, gents.
Hurry, Artie.
Here you go, my good man. Can we keep the change?
A fiver? God bless you, Governor.
Think nothing of it. I print my own.
Bring me home. That's a good one.
Still, we can't afford to waste them. We shall move the barge out at high tide. I shall miss this place. Somewhat.
Go around the front, and when the police get here, tell them what happened.
Right you are, Gov. And, the best of British luck to you both. You're gonna need it.
And don't move until they get here. Mrs. Hudson, up we go.
Slowly. Slowly.
Where are we going? Keep the bucket. Are you quite serious? Mr. Holmes! Yes? Do you do this kind of thing on purpose?
Nothing, Professor. Probably rats.
Ah, yes. Rats.
I think it's louder over here. It
Oh, I'm so dreadfully sorry.
On the contrary, I think we're making very good progress.
I'm not staying around here.
There, the ink's not flying. More paper line over here. Turn over.
You've done a splendid job, Mr. Giles. The Queen herself could hardly tell the difference. However, this one seems to have been only half printed. It's found on the bank of the river.
I've got a pussycat. And I'm very fond of that.
A reject. It must have slipped away.
And the tide carried it up.
The tide, that's all.
Suppose we have a look at this reject. Shall we? 2, 3, 4. Oh, yes, clever. How many of these rejects accidentally slipped away? Well, no matter. Shame that the only person capable of deducing your clue is currently lying at the bottom of the Thames. What are you doing here?
Told you to keep an eye on that imbecile. He may yet stumble onto something.
He has. Oh, they know all about this place. Luckily for you, they sent me to fetch Scotland Yard.
All right. You know Scotland Yard. Fine.
Professor.
You need to panic?
Mm-hmm.
I need a good plan. Attack. Attack with what?
Professor, when we first met in Monte Carlo, you impressed me very clever man.
Clever enough to get us this far. And I'm certainly clever enough to see this enterprise through. Start packing. In spite of this latest piece of foolishness, you've done your job well. Your reward will be a quick and relatively painless departure.
Not so fast, Moriarty.
Watson!
I've been waiting hours for your arrival, Professor.
Oh, Dr. Watson, thank God you're here!
Please, my dear. Ingenious. Planting a spy in our midst. That staged attack at Giles was quite realistic. However, a cable to France revealed a rather unique fact about the real Miss Giles. Something of an embarrassment to the Giles family, I should think.
Perhaps you would like to meet the real Mr. Giles.
Leslie! Leslie!
All right. Back to first plan. Attack.
Pity you won't be able to share my greatest triumph, the forcing of an empire to its knees. But you will be allowed to see these two die before you.
Right! Don't anybody move. Otherwise, there'll be an impromptu roasting.
Has it occurred to you, Mr. Holmes, that if you set fire to that money, you will burn to death yourself?
Of course it has.
Don't just stand there! Come on! Come on, then, now! Put it out here!
Look out!
Get your back seat! Come on!
I thought you were dead.
You may yet be right.
I'm not done with you yet, Watson!
those boxes!
Leave this to me.
Give your hand, will you? Watch out, baby!
I have... There, my dear.
I'll bring a tinder box in here!
What was that?
Professor, the gas maze!
What?
Let the blow in the heat! Keep looking down. I'll get the plates.
It's all over now, my pretty one.
You're disappointed, aren't you?
Help!
Brilliant. Watson, why didn't you kill him when you had the chance?
Go on, hurry, Larry! Get moving! Come on, George! Yeah, like this now. Hey! Come on, let's get out of here! Watch it! Watch it! Come on, I'll get your
It's safe, Professor. Come on. This is an escape, not a cakewalk.
Oh, please, don't wait for me, will you?
Oh, mercy me. Oh, my dear. That must have been so painful. Hello?
Right.
There he is.
You hold them off.
Just like I told you.
Oh, my head. It's all right, dear. It's still there. Dr. Watson!
Ah, sorry, Mrs. Hudson.
Come on, Watson, there's a fire down here.
It became necessary for me to stage my death, so I might work unobserved for a few days.
And I must say, you've caused quite a bit of grief. You needn't bother with her. She's an imposter.
She's not Leslie Giles?
No.
Then who is?
I am. There you have it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you seem to be blocking my exit. Kindly step aside.
Watson, remove these people from the stage.
Locked. Ordinarily, I do not bother with half-wits and buffoons.
Buffoon, is it? Buffoons, is it?
He'll be killed.
I quite doubt it, Mrs. Hudson. He's in his element now.
I warn you, sir. I've killed as many as 6 men in a week. 8 if you count matinees. Brilliant swordsmanship of Reginald Kincaid. It was almost worth the price of admission. Raved the critic of the Cotswold Press.
All right. Put
your shoulders to it, men. Let's have it down. Rest of you, round the back.
It really is quite good.
Follow me. On the way, lads. Right, come on.
Trying to be funny, eh?
Stay where you are, everyone. I have killed before, and I can assure you I have absolutely no compunction about doing so again. You are not dealing with an amateur, you know.
Oh, well played.
Once more, out to the breach, dear friends.
Holmes, no!
You're alive.
Astounding observation, Inspector. We must discuss it.
Well done.
Oh, hello.
Stand back, Watson. I'm about to bring the world's greatest criminal to justice, and nothing's going to stop me.
Have you forgotten the gas mains?
Congratulations, Mr. Holmes. Her Majesty wishes to offer you her sincerest appreciation for a job well done. Oh, and you too, Dr. Watson. Mr. Giles tells me that you both deciphered the clue.
At times, I doubted if anyone would understand it.
Child's play. 23rd Psalm. Shadow of Death. Elementary.
No, I was referring to the serial number. 234. The address of this theater. 234 Beacon Street.
Amazing!
What? Don't worry. I'll fix it in the story.
The arrests were made, and the rest of the story you know. I mean to toot my own horn, you understand? Ah, Mr. Holmes. Nice bit of work, this. But as I was telling Miss Giles, had it not been for the timely arrival of Scotland Yard, I doubt things would have turned out so well. Of course, I realize you would never admit such a thing.
On the contrary, Inspector.
Indeed, Holmes was telling me how indispensable you were.
What?
As a matter of fact, Miss Giles, it is to Lestrade and Lestrade alone that you owe your deepest gratitude.
Really?
Miss Giles is on the stage, you know. In Paris. A review called Les Femmes Faux.
Electress! What is the prize?
With more surprises yet to come.
Good morning.
Morning,
Good
sir.
morning.
Excuse me, sir. Is it true that Moriarty is dead?
Never assume, gentlemen. Never assume.
Right.
Mr. Holmes, how did you know where Moriarty was hiding out?
It was an elementary deduction based on the clues at hand, I can assure you.
But how is it that Scotland Yard did not...
Perhaps Scotland Yard did not have the invaluable assistance, the keen insight, and the extraordinary patience of Dr. John Watson. My friend. Now, gentlemen and ladies, I have an announcement of some consequence. With the safe return of the plates to the Royal Mint, I must inform you that this is my last case.
No.
Sherlock Holmes is retired.
Oh, surely not, Senator. It cannot be.
I don't know.
Dr. Watson, is it possible?
Of course it's not possible. Why, Mr. Holmes is merely pulling a leg. Aren't you, Holmes? Sherlock Holmes retire when there is murder and mayhem at every turn? Why, already several adventures have begun to take shape which can be solved by no one else. Right, Holmes?
Right you are, Watson. And so, without further ado, I hereby declare this case